I can't remember when I haven't been fishing. My dad started me fishing when I was just a very small child, freshwater, over in the central part of Florida and in Polk County. And it grew into something that I loved, and as I got older, he brought me over here to the East Coast and to Fort Pierce, where we are now. And that's been my home ever since I got out of the military. So I've been fishing really, realistically, for about 75 years now, starting as a very small child. And a man asked me the other day if I fished here all my life, and I said, no, not yet, but I'm working on it. My first charter boat that I had was a 19-foot boat that was built here in Fort Pierce by the Lowe family, who had a commercial fish house here. And it was built out of the lumber that they remilled and replaned out of the old Coast Guard station at Taylor Creek. And they took that cypress lumber and built that 19-footer with two big live wells in it and a 70-horse universal inboard engine. And that was my first charter boat. I had 2 seats and fishing chairs, and we caught a lot of fish out of that boat, snook and tarpon and redfish. It was just an all-around boat for fishing inside in the Indian River and here in the Fort Pierce Inlet. Great little boat. Well, I got interested in fishing with my dad, fishing as a small child. And then when I came over and was exposed to saltwater fishing, the big time, I had the opportunity to go out on a commercial kingfish boat and see how that was done. And that just was very interesting to me. And just the more I was around it, the more I liked it. That just something that was, I guess, ingrained in me that was brought out by my dad. I've had a lot of memorable catches. I've been very lucky. I guess probably the most memorable catch would have to be a fish that we didn't actually land. We hooked a blue marlin off of Oregon Inlet, North Carolina. That was the biggest fish that any of us had ever seen. Got it to the boat and knew the fish was well over 1,000 pounds. Got 2 gaffs in it. The fish took off, ripped the gaffs out, and got away. And that was a heartbreaker. In 1981, that was just the day before the Oregon Inlet Billfish Tournament. And that fish was just so big, I still dream about that fish at night. That was the fish of a lifetime, but we didn't catch. I think it's probably taught me patience more than anything else. Whether you're fishing or playing golf or shooting a shotgun on a clay target range, you slow down and enjoy the moment. Take the time to really enjoy what just happened or what might just happen. And it doesn't always happen real quick. But if you want to be successful, you just got to be slow, take it slow and easy, be patient, listen to what people tell you that give good advice because they've been around it longer than you have. And I've had a lot of that, a lot of help from some great fishermen. I was in the right place at the right time. Without a doubt, it's meeting the people and the kids. They're so much a part of it. You cannot replace the smile on a kid's face when he's caught his first fish. And when it's his first fish, it's a sailfish or a dolphin or a big wahoo. I mean, they never forget that as long as they live. And usually their dad mounts it for them. And the kids they're the backbone of the charter fishing business. People come and charter a boat, they want to take the kids fishing. And whenever you can catch something for them that excites them, gets them interested, then you've really accomplished your mission. There have been a lot of those now. I tell you, I've been very fortunate and had some very good friends that were charter boat captains, and we fished together all in the Caribbean and here in Florida. I could list them. Captain Chip Schaefer, who's got to be one of the #1 people I've ever been around fishing. It doesn't matter if it's throwing a fly rod or catching a blue marlin. He's been there, done that, and wrote the book about it. Chip is just a great guy. And then I had a wonderful friend that influenced me a lot in my fishing, who is dead and gone now. He drowned in a diving accident, Craig Koch, who was also a captain. And these guys we all got around fishing and sat down and talked about what worked and a lot of times what didn't work, and shared things with each other, and still do to this day. And there've been some very influential people. I guess it's Captain Terry Shaughnessy, who's a captain from the west coast of Florida. Now, he was in Louisiana when I married him. When I met him, married him. I didn't marry him, I swear I didn't. But he started Hackberry Rod and Gun over there for duck hunting and fishing, great in the Gulf of Mexico. And now he's down in Everglades City, here in Florida. Just a great fish. He's an artificial bait man's dream. He knows how to work an artificial bait and make fish like it. So he's another one. But that's just a few. I could go on for days, the people that have really been influential. Well, since I've quit fishing offshore, I still have a flats boat. I fish inshore a lot, tarpon, snook, redfish, trout. I love pompano fishing in the winter. As you get older, and I qualify for that, it seems like catching a small fish on a small rod is a lot more fun than a big fish on a big rod. That's for sure. But, you know, if I could only do one kind of fishing for the rest of my life, I'd still have to think about that. I don't know yet. I haven't made up my mind. Bone fishing with a fly rod is right up there with the best. But any kind of fishing, really. If you're a fisherman, you'll always be a fisherman, and you'll always love what you do. Walker's Cay in the Bahamas was owned by the Applenet family when I started going there. Actually, it was owned by other people when I first started going, but they bought Walker's back in the late 50s, I believe, maybe in the 60s. But I started going, my first trip to Walker's would have been in about 1966, somewhere along there. And it's a small island, a mile long and a quarter of a mile wide, that has more memories than most people get in a lifetime. I've gotten right there. All my friends that were fishermen would go to Walker's in the spring and summer. That was where you went to catch a blue marlin, because we didn't catch many off Fort Pierce. I've caught a few here, but you went to Walker's Cay, and that's where you caught your blue marlin. We've caught blue marlin up to 800 pounds there. We've caught white marlin and sailfish, and we've caught some unbelievably big bluefin tuna there, which it wasn't known for really as a place to go tuna fishing, but in the spring of the year when they were coming through the Bahamas headed north, every now and then we'd get tangled up with one, and that was something to see. A tuna taking a bait just looks sort of like a truck going off the end of a pier. You will never forget that strike. But it was beautiful, clear water for diving, fishing, partying at night. We had it cooked on the dock, conch fritters and fried fish and all kind of music, and we really enjoyed that. That was our paradise, Walker's Cay. Well, the music part of my career came about because nobody had ever really concentrated on writing songs about fishing and the good times and the bad, and it just came natural. And I started jotting down lyrics, and we would get together at Walker's, is where a lot of this happened, with Billy Black and his son Alan Black, and we'd sit in the cockpit of a boat at night and picking and grinning with the guitars and singing songs and making up words. We had a good time. And the real number one song that I ever wrote about the Bahamas was a song called Abaco Dreamin'. And that song got to be real popular at Walker's before I recorded it. Well, probably my most famous song was a song I wrote, the first album. I didn't know where to put this song on my first album or not, but finally I said, well, I just got to. And it's called Ugly. And it was about an old fishing boy getting through fishing and going into a bar late at night to have a drink and find him a pretty girl to dance with. And the one he found with wasn't too pretty, but you know, he drank her up to a 10. And I had more comments and more response to that song than any other. Ugly. Well, we did 12 different albums and one best of, so that would have been 13. Started in 95 and went to 2008. And it was just a good time. I guess getting there was more fun than getting on top of the mountain. It was just getting there, the trip up. But it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people. I really want to thank all the people that liked my music, and still it's just the fishing brought it about. That's how it got there, fishing. I do want to leave you with a final thought. The most important thing that we people who love fishing, you got to get these kids involved in it early and get them to love it as much as we did. You know, the kids now, they got a cell phone, they got a computer, and to drag them away from that is not easy. But everything you can do to help a kid get interested in fishing is a step in the right direction.